Johnny Udesetian, who happened to be the first mixed martial arts fighter of the state. I started training with him. And so while training there, we did a lot of kickboxing, and I found out that it was a bit brutal for me, because at that time I was already 30 years old. And to start kickboxing, it was a bit too much. But then I found out that grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu was more of my liking. I found that I had something in that.
It was a very organic growth. Other people heard, and then other people from other disciplines, they said, we want to learn what you're doing. And we told them, we want to learn what you're doing, why don't we exchange?
To figure out some badass name, but then we found out that he had a email ID by that name, and we were like, let's go with that.
And when we considered something like that, we thought that's not us. We're more this.
Okay. This is our mascot, by the way.
Yeah, this is our mascot too.
They considered that to be too violent. So growing up, I never had any of those thoughts, because it was forbidden. So now I encourage my children to make sure that if you have to do anything, this is the most valuable thing I can give them as a father. Because what it has brought into my life, one thing, discipline, confidence. And of course, there are other lots of positive things, but discipline and confidence are the two things I rate above everything else. Yeah? And I wish this for my children also. So what it's done for me, the same thing for them. So I feel that doing martial arts is the best thing that you can give your children and for yourself also. Here, all the training sessions are tailored to, different people at different times. We have working professionals, students. So basically, in the morning, we have a lot of working professionals that come. They want to get that part over with, the training over with, then they have the rest of the day to themselves. And towards the afternoon and evenings, when we have more of the school children and the college going children, and of course we do have a lot of working professionals also that now. Then throughout the day, that time is reserved for people who are competing professionally, for the fighters. So we have different batches running throughout the day.
We do have classes with women, some with colleges, sometimes with organizations. And we used to have free self-defense classes for women every Saturday. And initially it took off well, but the women fizzled out too. But through our meetings with all these people, and we got to meet a few women who said that they had such experiences. And the worst thing was not knowing what we do.
For many people, I can say even for me personally, this is where I come to actually bust out all your stress, your tension, anxiety. And then you meet good people here. I mean, that's the most valuable thing for me. So I'm blessed to have met all the people I've met here in this dojo. And my life has been totally enriched because of that. So I couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Any of the martial arts that we practice here, any one of them would help them not necessarily to answer violence with violence, but to have the confidence to deal with it. Because
the violence that people fear, I'll tell you honestly, if you were to get someone who's never learned how to drive a car, tell him get behind that steering and drive, imagine the anxiety, the fear. But once you learn how to drive a car, it becomes like nothing. It's part of your life. There's no fear involved anymore. So the same thing with training also. Once you've learned, the fear goes off, because now you know what your limitations are, what you're capable of, and The same way we respect our training partners also that same way it builds. So we are here not to hurt anyone, but to build everyone. Only advice I can give if you're looking towards becoming a professional, consistency, perseverance, discipline. Without this, you will never achieve your goal. Majority of us, they do it as a hobby or to just get fit or to pass the time. But if you're looking, approaching it to be, your professional goal, you need to have that commitment to give it your all. Because once you get into the cage, you know that your opponent has been training every day, 365 days a year. So unless you have that commitment, you cannot, say lie to yourself that I'll do it with a little bit of training. We do have a lot of students who have walked, who have come into our field. So, majority of them have opened up their own dojos. Many have become coaches. So many have got into the army and other armed forces, and it's benefited them a lot because of the discipline that you learn and the physicality that you eventually obtain out of learning the skills here. Right now, with a couple of the fighters, one is Angad Bish, and the other one is Anshul Jubli. So these fighters have paved the way and they're in the UFC. So we are hopeful that they will inspire the many who, want to get to that goal. And they got there not because of anything, but because of hard work. That's how we got there.
Well, I think this is something that we ourselves should follow. Whatever you do, give yourself to it. Stay consistent. Consistency over intensity. Don't train 2 days a week till you are broken. But train every day. Remain consistent, and not just every day for the week. Let days develop into weeks into months, months into years, and just stay consistent. No matter what field you're in, we're not talking about spending whatever you want to do. Just do it. Because often there was a chart that I once saw, and there was a white tick mark to show success and a black tick mark to show failure. Victory and defeat. There were always more black marks than white marks. But after a series of black marks, there was one white mark. And then another series of black marks, but one white mark. That one white mark, all you do. Just keep going, keep consistency. I think this applies in life over, no matter what we wear.
But the best time to start says now. If people want to do it, why wait? Because doing something like this, in fact, not just MMA, but anything that you want to do, just go for it. Usually that overcoming that first step. And for many people, actually they say the hardest part is not the training, it's getting here. Alright, sometimes waking up in the morning is the most difficult thing to do. There are more excuses that creep up every day that prevent you from, achieving your goals. So I feel one day just do it. That is the thing, the takeaway. Don't wait. Otherwise you'll miss the bus. So that is my message.